You're watching The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. We got a special guest in the building.
Hey, Country
Big Crit.
Yeah,
Big
man.
Crit.
What's happening? How y'all doing, man?
Blessed, man. New album forever. It's a mighty long time.
Yeah.
New double album. That means double streams and double sales.
Yeah, with Big Crit side, Justin Scott side, I get to show the duality of myself and my music. And it's like, it's been, 3 years since K.R.I.T came out?
Man, I'm dumb as hell.
Man,
I'm gonna tell you why I'm dumb as hell.
Here you go.
Well, we know.
I'm gonna tell you why I'm dumb as hell. Because
Why?
I'm listening to the second album, and I'm like, it says Justin Scott intro, I think.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
You didn't realize that was him?
No. I was gonna ask you, who is Justin Scott?
Yeah, nah, that's me.
That's your real name.
That's my real government
Okay,
name.
got you.
Yeah, bro. It's all good. It's all good. But yes, I just wanted not only sonically to show the duality, it's just in everyday life we put on that superhero face. We go out into our jobs and our worlds and that confidence we have to have. But when we get home, sometimes it's the anxiety, it's the depression, it's the insecurities, and sometimes it can be a wave of that. So I decided to write about that, you know.
I'm dealing with a lot of anxiety now too, my brother. I'm actually about to start going to therapy for it.
Word.
And I hear it in the Price of Fame record.
Yes
I
sir.
understood exactly what the hell you was going through on
crazy.
that record.
Well, talk about that record, because some of us haven't heard it yet.
I mean, Price of Fame is one of those, reflecting on how far I got in my career at one point, and then you going out, you partying and all that stuff, and you get back home, and there's nobody to really share your successes with for real. And then you find yourself just indulging more in your vices, and normally surrounding yourself around people that really only there for the moment.
Right.
You know, and I started really chasing accolades and seeing what my peers had and becoming super competitive, and I wasn't living life either. Right? And so I kind of dialed it back, and I started to really pay attention to my surroundings and what I was doing to myself, not only on a health level, but on a mental level.
You looking way healthier,
Thank
too.
you. I'm doing my best.
By the way.
I slowed down on the drinking, you know what I'm saying? Really trying to eat right. What the health scared everybody, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
You know what
I
I'm
ain't been watching
saying?
that.
Yeah, and my girl also just being a real positive person to kind of get me to go outside. Bro, I just spent time studio touring, and wasn't experiencing life at all.
You gotta enjoy it.
Yeah, man, and so that's really what started to happen. And even during the album, I went broke, you know, working on the album. So there was no
Tyrese
going
broke?
out.
What kind of broke?
I mean broke as far as me broke. I don't know,
Gotcha.
you know what I'm saying? I ain't got
Different
the
levels
fancy
of
few.
broke.
Yeah, but it was like it's all gone kind of thing. And then you sit back and like, oh, the money wasn't making me happy either. The materials I acquired weren't making me happy. And then I started to really get to the bottom of my depression and what I was going through, and I was chasing some shit that I never wanted
It's
in the
kind
first
of like
place.
mixed messages, that song, too.
Yeah.
A lot of, because we all have that kind of duality where there's things that we know that we shouldn't
Be doing.
doing, but
You gonna do it. And then
Yeah.
if somebody be like, yo, should I get down with that? You be like, nah, right? But I decided to be as transparent as possible, because the music industry will give somebody the idea that it is some superhero. I got this brick wall, that don't bother me. But man, when you get home, bro, that shit hit you, and then ain't nobody to talk to. Like, that's dangerous, right? And so you start to medicate. You know,
Especially coming from where you come from.
Yeah.
Because it's not a lot of people who have experienced that success. I mean, who you gonna call, David Banner?
I mean, of course,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
I'm gonna
it.
call David,
Word.
and then I'm gonna call Bun, I'm gonna call Ludacris, or then I'm gonna talk to my manager and,
Right.
and my, you know, my friends, like Big Son, been around since I was 13 years old, so I can call him and be like, bruh, because he saw it before the success and the fame. But I got to a point where I thought I was bothering them. Because the first thing you do, you know, you call a family member, they be like, but bro, how can you be, you got this, you got that.
that's what people think.
Yeah, and then you would be like, well, you know what, I don't even want to talk about
They
it.
look at what you have as
tripping because
success,
you
right?
making money?
You know what
You
I'm
tripping because
saying?
people know you?
And you would fall back from the conversation, but you need to push through that and be like, you know what? Yeah, but that ain't it. That ain't all that I'm going.
But you
through.
also have your girl, though.
Yeah.
And I know when you in a relationship, it's much easier to talk to your girl than sometimes it is to talk to your boys about that if she's supportive.
You right, but then at the same time, it's this thing where we don't want to seem weak, or it's like, suck that shit up, man. You know, and especially in your girl, like I sometimes I see her going through so much that I'll be like, I ain't even gonna bother you with that. Especially on the business end too,
Right.
because she's an artist, and I don't want to scare her from the industry as well. Because sometimes it could just be my perception of it, or my competitiveness has created this narrative where I'm like, they ain't fucking with me, they ain't rocking with me, and I don't want to damage her and think it's gonna be the same scenario.
I realize more artists and more people have more problems due to social media. It seems like social media is what's causing people to have these problems.
Man, mystery was a thing back in like the 90s, right? You didn't know much about your favorite artist, and if you did, it was because you encountered them in a brief moment. You didn't know what they were going through to make their album,
Right.
but it gave you as a fan, you was just excited when they dropped. now it's like you're so engulfed in what people have to say about the music and the creativity and the lifestyle that you can't focus on the craft that got you in the first place. It's like, bro, I saw 1,000 positive tweets, that one negative tweet wrecked your whole day.
Yeah.
And then you want to tweet that person like, bro, why you feel like that?
And then all your fans are like, you don't
Why
hit
you
me
even
back.
you don't
and
hit
I
me
was
back? Why you
between
hit
you for
but
10 years.
Man, and it's just this spiral, and you just find yourself searching for the negativity.
Right.
And that's what I had to fall back on. Like, bro, I can't even tune into that no more. Just focus on this music shit.
You said on Price of Fame that your father always told you won't live a quiet life if you chasing fortune and fame. So did you, like, I guess, stop chasing fortune and fame? Like, what's your quest now?
Man,
your quest now?
Just helping people. A lot of time, especially when I was down and out, it didn't stop people from hitting me like, bro, we waiting on your album. Bro, keep doing what you're doing. No matter what they were going through in life, I didn't even know them. They just was like, bro, don't stop doing what you're doing.
Right.
That's a lot of humility to just, man, inspire somebody else that you don't even know, right? And again, going into the VIP sections and kicking it and all that stuff, it didn't last very long. Because once I got back home, the liquor set in. I wake up with a hangover, and I'm thinking to myself, what am I doing with my life?
What was you chasing though? Because I've known you for a long time, and you never seemed
Fortune
like
and
that.
fame.
But see,
you
but-
never seemed like that type of person. Like I've never seen you go and say, "I'm gonna go buy a Bugatti."
Okay, but then you hear live from the underground and be like, K.R.I.T, what you so mad about?
Right.
Like, and then it's the respect, the idea of feeling like, man, I'm up here and I'm doing all this with my music while people aren't paying attention. Like, the music game is changing so much right in front of me. What am I missing? But this shit jamming, but the athletes are telling you this is knocking, but the label ain't picking up on it. Like, why am I not in these conversations? But
You addressed that on drinking sessions.
yeah, and it's like, bro, that became just such it really weighed on me. And it made it where conversations about music were bitter, and it wasn't supposed to be.
But your peers have given you your accolades.
Yeah, but you go into the game with that. First, I wanted to be on the radio, and I was like, yeah. Then it's like, I want to sign a deal and drop an album, and like, yeah. And then at that point, it's like, okay. Now it's like, oh, I'm not in this class, or oh, K.R.I.T, you're not as good as this person. Then the memes go out with your face on shit. Then records come out, and then it's like, then the crying face. You know what I'm saying? It's like your brain go from like, yeah, your family proud of you, to you like, man, I gotta prove them wrong. And man, that's turmoil.
I mean, but it makes for good music because, like on drinking sessions, you're very transparent about your industry frustrations and what critics are saying about you. So clearly, you took a couple shots or something. And
definitely wrote
went
that
in.
drunk, and it went through a lot the day I wrote that. So it became therapy. I originally wrote that for me to play for myself. It's like when you venting, the idea of getting it out is no different if you paint or if you just go to the gym to work out. Like, you just want to get that out. And so with me as a writer and a creator, that's how I do sometimes when I'm dealing with things that I can't express vocally to somebody right then. I record it.
What'd you go through that day? Like what
I mean, I don't want to go too far into
Mm-hmm.
that, but it was just the fact that I felt like nobody was around me understood what it was like to be in a position where you feel like you're great, you keep trying to prove it, but you don't have a radio record, or you ain't, and the idea of what success is in the world. It was just overwhelming.
I
But you
keep
feel
telling
like
all
there's
the-
a radio record on here if you wanted it.
I mean, but we created from a different perspective this time. I was having fun, and I was free, and I was independent. Hey.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like you reached a little too much for some radio records on this one.
What? Nah,
I'm
not
like,
even.
I do like a 1999, a certain record.
That was Manny Fresh played me a song, Lord was killing. I was like, I want that. Not because the A&R went in and was like, yo, you gotta rap on this. And then that wasn't the first record we was like put out. We let the people talk about that. Keep the Devil Off was the first record that
Love
I
that
wanted
one.
to be throwed out, because I'm like, in the climate that we in the society, you need to keep the negativity off you.
Yeah, that's a great record. And I want to say, just saying that you have a radio record doesn't mean that you sold out or something.
I know. I
It
ain't
could be a song that, you know,
If it take, it take. I ain't
right.
tripping.
That if it bumps
Yeah.
and you like it, it could just still be commercial though.
Why do y'all still want radio records during this era?
Because the same way people want Grammys and
But
Oscars
what
and
is a
stuff
radio
like that.
record? You know, is 21
like-
Savage, is that record a radio record? It's not really.
That's what I'm
Bank Account is
saying.
not
Like,
a radio
I
record,
like all
but
these young
it's
dudes
dope radio.
that are just putting out music and then they're reaping the benefits of whatever, however people gravitate towards.
Yeah, as a child and listening to music and being a fan, being on the radio was the first thing you realized.
You made it.
Yes.
Right.
So I don't really think that goes away. And I'm not gonna tell no
Right.
kid that that's what he inspires him to make music to do if he want to be on the radio. It just doesn't stop there. And if it don't happen to you in the beginning of your career, it doesn't mean it won't happen later on, or that you might find a sound that works for you and it fits in its own pocket on radio. But that was just the first thing that I could see in the streets like that. Oh, And then you see the person that even on radio, it inspires him to, bro, I'm gonna take this serious. So it still was a necessary outlet growing up.
Or I don't want to rush past a lot of these records. I want to go back to drinking sessions for a second. You say things are effed up because people don't talk about Christ.
Yeah.
Do you think the absence of God has caused a lot of problems?
Just belief in spirituality to a degree, right? We at a point where the value of life is so low, and we are also desensitized based off how much violence that we see and negativity that we see, that we go about our everyday life and we see something happen to someone with no remorse at all. And the idea of spirituality and believing something greater than you that wants to see you in a positive perspective and wants you to do better, I can't let that go. And I have to put it in my music because my grandmother helped me with these morals, and I'm from Mississippi, the Bible Belt. And it'd be wrong of me to not rap about that at all, because at the basics and even in that song, that's really the catalyst of why I even wanted to rap that, why I even thinking about that, because if God is listening to me, please help me feel better, help me understand this. And this is how it is when you're alone and you're in that depressive mode and you feel like ain't nobody there. Like the very base of it, somebody being there, that higher energy is waiting on you to ask for help. And that's how I think and how I believe. And I feel like once musicians, especially the ones that do believe, start talking more about it, it might help their fans move a little easier, or they won't take some of the violence and negativity so literal.
How do you get out of that depressive mode?
Oh man, not only talking to people about it, right? You can't sit there and be sad and then put that face on every time, because it's going to hit you one day and it's going to be crazy. You got to start expressing like, yo, I don't feel good today. I'm not really into it today, bro, and start letting people know how you feel. And I think that'll kind of help you open up a little bit more about what you're going through and what you're dealing with.
You'll be surprised by how many people and artists go through the same thing that you're actually going through when you talk about it more.
Yeah.
Like Tyrese, and y'all making fun of him?
No, I wasn't making fun of Tyrese.
Yeah, I mean, and we've got to a point where you live your life openly, and you want to be transparent. And sometimes it can help somebody down the line, but then you do take the blunt force of people when they laugh at you.
Right.
You know?
Do you ever feel unappreciative? And what I mean by that is like you feel bad because you feel unappreciative. Like you've gotten to this point. You got to where you want to be, but then you're like, damn, all of this is weighing on me.
Yeah, I mean, you'll guilt yourself for not being happy with what you got.
With what you got, yeah. Happy with what you prayed for and worked for. Yeah.
Exactly, and then that's when it becomes very specific of what you're praying for, too. Because when you pray for success, that's a lot of different stuff, right? Right? But I got to the point, I'm just praying for happiness.
Right.
Because we so in the pursuit of it, and whatever that means, that's going to come forth. But I ain't praying for money and cars and... Like, nah, it ain't about that no more. I just want to be happy.
Right.
Happiness is success.
Yeah.
So
hey.
You had a slight problem with alcohol then?
Yeah.
Was it a slight problem, big problem?
I still say that it's a battle every day when you don't realize how much you consume your vice, but between touring and being in the studio, eating regular, just kicking in with your partners, it becomes a part of everyday life. And then one day you be at home, you're like, man, I'm just gonna have a sip. That turns into every night before you go to bed, you have a sip. And so breaking the habit is difficult because everything you do, you have a drink with.
Every socializing.
Everything, and it's everywhere. So the minute you decide to stop, going out becomes an issue. Getting on a plane becomes an issue. Going in the studio becomes an issue. Interacting with your friends become an issue because you're so used to having that help you move along through your everyday life.
How much did you drink?
Man, I say I was consuming a lot. I was consuming to the point where I would say that the people around, like any time you can smell it on someone the day after, right? And then the day after and the day after and the day after, that means they're not stopping.
Great. You smell like a straight Mississippi nigga under the tree with the brown paper bag.
I mean, but it's the truth, and because it for me, and it's that whole idea I can drink, right? And then we had the Drinkers Club, and we was partying. I was in my 20s, and we out there popping bottles and getting to it. Nobody was going to tell me to stop because I was having fun. I was living life.
So were people concerned about you?
Yeah, I mean, but see, and then if they were medicating too. So it's like it's hard to tell me to stop and you medicate as well. But when I hit 30, that's when, oh, snap. It's like your body ain't reacting the same. It's like, oh, you black out now. It's like, oh, like I can't get up, I can't work. And then your girl's like, these kinds of things start, and it started to affect the way you think about certain things and the rationalities that happen. Nah, bro, I can't be out here.
You thought you was an alcoholic?
Man, I mean, based off the signs of it, yeah.
See, that lets me know you weren't, because the first sign of alcoholism is denial.
Oh, nah, I ain't on that.
Yeah.
Nah, I ain't in no denial, man. Hell nah, bro. I was drinking entirely too much, and I had to stop.
Dope.
Do you still drink?
I mean, I celebrated not too long ago, and I drank, and then I started to see that it could have been very easy for me to get back into the same
stop
process.
it,
Here comes the
Charlamagne.
ass.
to get back in the same process. And then
That's the devil. You gotta keep that devil off you.
even coming up on this run and doing these interviews is the realization that I can't lean on that no more. Like, cause it's impossible for me to wake up as early as I need to wake up to come talk to y'all, and then the rest of the day work and be on that crash mode.
I believe in balance anyway. Life is all about balance.
Yeah.
Every now and then I have a drink, but you see I have my green juice every single day.
Yeah, I
too.
mean, but moderation may not be an issue for you. For some people, moderation is an issue, and they don't know how. Oh, this is.
I concentrate on it though.
Okay,
like
so
I
you consciously
consciously say, okay, I got to make sure I over the weekend did too much. Now I got to make sure I get back on it. I'm not doing nothing till Friday.
See, and that's cool, but there's some people out here, they be like, man,
it was
I
a
got
process
this.
to get to that point though.
So how many times when you had that hangover, you was like, man, let me get a shot real quick to kick this, or a glass of
Oh,
wine.
me and my
Never
listen,
understood that when people do that.
Yeah.
See, and that's
I
when
definitely
you
have done that.
and
especially I'm with my friends a lot. So
Yeah.
a lot of times part of being social and being with your friends, you're like, come on, it's brunch time. No, I know you was drunk last night, but we got to go get the endless mimosas.
Yeah.
So when you got kids and family like that, you don't drink like that. Like you're always around your kids, so you never think about.
Yeah, but see, I don't
taking a
have
shot, right?
I don't have kids. Me and my girl finally moved in together in all the years we've been together. So now the responsibility of life is changing too.
Yeah.
But before that, long distance relationship, I'm still in the studio drinking. I'm still partying, whatever. And then I don't come back to the crib and smell like alcohol up on her trying to go to sleep.
Right.
I didn't have to worry about that, but that's another thing to worry about now. Like, I'm not trying to be wasted, trying to kiss her in the morning and she's like,
Yeah, that's
nah,
disgusting.
hell nah.
Now you say you don't have kids. The intro sounds like an open letter to your son, though.
Of which record?
The Big K.R.I.T record.
Oh no, Big K.R.I.T.
K.R.I.T.
Big K.R.I.T. is Justin Scott literally talking to Big K.R.I.T. as an artist,
Got you.
right?
All right.
And it's from the perspective like my music is going to outlive me as a human, and so creatively I had to start figuring out what I wanted to put out into the world. And so that's literally me apologizing for the views or how Big K.R.I.T. may be viewed, even on a soul level, as far as the sins of the people that have taken me literally and then went and did something in their life that they'll regret, and having to take all that on. Because forever is a mighty long time.
All right. Now, you got the legendary Jill Scott on Higher Calling.
Nice.
Now, tell me if I'm right about this. It feels like you're saying that the woman is God on this record.
To some degree, but
Okay.
it's more like being with someone for so long and then realizing that it's time for y'all to do something greater than yourself, like basically having a child, right? And so that was what that is, like being at home, like, man, we should create now.
It feels like
You
you're
know.
ready.
Hey, we
Hey, you
gonna
about
see.
to have a
Oh, if you
baby.
living together, if you living together, ain't no,
Almost there.
ain't
You
no
know,
condemnation.
All right, Big Daddy
Dizzle,
K.R.I.T.
yo, Smoke Dizzle told me the same thing. You're like, y'all living together now? Okay, little
You know
K.R.I.T.
what
on the
that
way,
means.
kind of
Good.
thing.
Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
funny.
Absolutely.
But even in the
That's funny.
album, it seems like it is you're ready to
Yeah.
have a seed.
I'm growing up. I'm growing up, but I realized that family and interactions with people around you and finding that one that loves you no matter what is very much important in life.
Is it important for you to be married before you have a kid?
I mean, for me, I would like that. I would like to go that route. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I am, and I don't judge. To each his own. But
Yeah,
I
I'm
would
just talking
like
about
to
you
get married.
personally.
Yeah, I
You
would like to
that.
get married first.
If
yeah.
it doesn't happen, don't worry about it. We
Yeah,
black.
I mean, but I
We
ain't
black.
tripping.
That's the way we do
It's
things.
all good, but you know.
Charlamagne did it halfway.
Yeah,
That's what he said.
I was with my girl 16 years before we got married.
Wow.
We had a kid before. Yeah.
I mean, but see, that's
had to
you.
think about it.
It's like there's
Yeah,
a lot of
think
things.
about it.
Man, I'm old. Them numbers, I don't even remember what they did. How long y'all been together? A long time.
I'm not going to say this about a long time.
Man.
Now you're independent, and you
Yeah.
say you respect and love radio.
Yeah.
And it's very difficult for independent artists to get that radio success. Takes a lot of money. So
Yeah.
How do you feel it in between that line?
I mean, well, I'm not tripping whether you do remember that I didn't get radio anyway.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Even on Def Jam, where's the radio?
So but that's what I'm saying. Like I'm not tripping. But if it happens, it happens. But I'm not fighting it no more.
But
I'm
what's
not
great
like,
now is that we do have the streaming services also.
amazing.
And I know that's really helpful to make sure that people do hear your music.
Yeah, if only we would have known this was gonna happen in 2010, we might not have ever signed in the first place, right? But it is what it is, and I learned a valuable lesson about business and how to market and bare minimum to really make a great album, and based off of actually having to literally work independent underneath a label.
I love the fact that the younger artists care about radio, because of course I'm in the radio business.
Yeah.
But I'm like, y'all don't need it. You got guys like Extension at #1 albums in the country, Playboy K.R.I.T selling
But like
records.
he said,
Yeah.
it's important
Yo,
to him.
this
Both of them
week-
had radios
this
on,
week-
records on radio.
Extension?
Yes, he did.
Yeah,
I ain't never heard no
definitely
Extension
does.
record.
Yeah.
He charted.
This week right here, Offset and 21 Savage sold more than Chris Brown. And Offset 21 Savage. And they came out with an album called Without Warning. No promotion, no nothing. And they sold more than Chris Brown.
Hey, man,
I thought it just came out on Halloween.
It did, yeah.
So how
I
did
saw
we
the
know
charts
that already?
yesterday. The charts came out yesterday.
Forever's a mighty long
But
time. Big
part of
Chris side just got side.
the first day.
I don't know. I
Yeah, I don't know if they had
But
those
that,
numbers
you know,
yet.
that's how it works too,
Yeah.
you know. And then you got
That don't sound
YouTube aside. It's like, you know, it's different now.
Now, got to keep the devil off you. You sound like a pastor on that one.
Yeah,
You say, what good are those riches if you're 6 feet under?
yeah.
I think a lot of people don't understand that. We too materialistic.
Hey, I mean, because that was the first sign of success. Again, the idea of it, you know. Then when you do get on and you see people that are really, really rich, they don't even buy shit that costs a lot of money. They ain't even tripping. They wearing with khakis and corduroys and flip flops and T-shirts and shit.
I think it's our culture a lot though too.
I mean, and that it's nothing wrong with that. But again, once you acquire it, it's the realization that that's not gonna make
don't
you
need it,
happy.
right.
And I think that's what we've been telling people for so long. It's like, bro, we got it. We boom, boom, boom. Like I remember seeing them Cribs episodes back in the
Yes.
day, and I was like, oh, that's what I. But then come
And
to
then
find
realize
out,
that most of them people didn't live in those
man,
houses.
either that or they end up spending all their money to stay
losing
in
the
those
crib,
houses and
right.
losing those cribs. Or then they come out and be like, man, none of that shit made me happy. I was dealing with some bullshit with my label, and my partners was a lot of people was taking money from me, and my account, like you like, oh, like. But you just focused on getting this nice stuff.
I always said the best Cribs was the Redman one. I will always say that. Where they
Where,
run it.
oh yeah, exactly. Redman kept it 100.
Yeah.
Like
Like, Redman had a couple of cribs. That wasn't his
I know,
only
but that was
crib.
But
my
still,
favorite one. That one always will stick out to me.
The difference between Cribs and now, the people you saw on Cribs, you knew they had careers.
Yeah, it
Like,
was
we saw the
longevity.
process,
It
absolutely.
was longevity involved with that. I will say that, right? Because when Master P was like, look at my elevator, I was like, okay, you didn't get that off one record.
Exactly.
That wasn't just one record, my brother. That was all 30 some of them albums that would be in there that I couldn't wait till they came out. You know what I'm saying?
What is it
Yeah.
that you're still striving for now? Like, what would make you feel like, okay, now I'm where I want to be?
I think it's just working with other artists and being a part of music without having to necessarily create it. And if I do create it, it's not my voice on it. I'm at a point now where I really enjoy hearing other artists on my music or just being a part of the creative process because it's my opportunity. When people be like, man, I don't really like what's being played on the radio. I don't like what boom, boom, boom. If you're a producer, then change the narrative. You have that option.
That's real.
You can bring the artist that you don't like into your world and create something that sounds totally different for them. Most producers, when you get in the studio, somebody be like, man, I want something just like that. And you got the power to make it. You know all the instruments. It's on you to do that 8-bar loop and give them that. I'll be like, bro, that's cool. But, man, let me give you something else.
Who would you like to do that for? If you could say right now, like, man, I would love to give.
I feel like you and T.I. need to do more music
Man, I would
together.
definitely, I mean, that's I would definitely rock with the OG.
He always sounds good on your
Yeah.
production.
Big Bang. That's
Yeah, Big Bang. Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I've been under a rock with music lately. So I don't listen to like other people's music while I'm working on my album for the reasons of not sounding like what's going on at the very moment. So I'd have to kind of think about that
Right.
and then pop up with that record and shock you. Because if I tell you now, then it's like it doesn't.
So
serve
you
its
have
own
something
purpose.
in the works already. that
Not
you-
yet, but
Okay.
I'm sending out this message on purpose for one of them artists that would think, damn,
Slide in
Crit-
my DMs.
yeah, like on some like, damn,
Just back
Crit will
on it.
work with me, like you know what I'm saying?
I think it works to your benefit though, because you're young with an old soul.
Like,
And like you understand like I guess how traditional hip hop sounded, like
Yeah.
with the record with CeeLo.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
Of
Get Up
course.
to Come Down. Like CeeLo sounds like old CeeLo.
Hey, boy, and I didn't even expect that. He could have sang on it. I've been
Oh, you
perfectly
wasn't
fine
like
with
rap?
that.
I need you to rap
no,
on this?
I
The verse
just
was
sent the
phenomenal.
record, and he sent that back, and then we didn't put the hook on the end of it because I just needed that to resonate, right?
Now, did you want to change your verse after you heard his?
No. I was confident. I sent the song with my verse because I know if I get my pocket and I'm good, I ain't got nothing to worry about no way. Nah,
He bodied you on it a little bit.
that's cool.
It's
As he
CeeLo.
should.
It's CeeLo.
As
Yeah,
he
yeah, yeah,
should, and it made for a jamming record.
Absolutely.
I produced it, so I still win on other levels, right?
yeah.
Did you know you were going to do a double disc, or was it that you had so many songs
So much music.
and then you were like, these songs are so different? Like there's the Justin.
We wanted to do a double album, and I've been trying to tell people kind of that thing since Forever and a Day cover. When I got the two sides of me, and even It's Better This Way, where you're dealing with the two sides. I think once we were completely off of the label and the understanding, like I was recording my album without them knowing, and I was taking care of all the payments and doing it myself. And then it got to the point where it's like, well, now we can do this double album. And then my manager Dutch at the time was like, bro, you really want to do it? Then do it. And we had a lot of the subject matter in music, and I didn't want to have to sequence certain records around other mixed messages could not have been on the Big K.R.I.T side because it would have diluted the rest of the album. I had to have separate aspects and separate albums in order to really express what the album's about.
All right, you say everybody trying to die young, but who gonna talk about life?
Exactly.
Explain that a little bit.
I mean, it's just the idea of even living for the moment. You know, Lord willing, you got tomorrow to have a moment and the day after that to have a moment. And it's the idea of we got a party and it's too like, nah, man, try to live and stay healthy and expand your life. It's so easy to talk about, to be on your YOLO, right? And then go do some shit that you shouldn't have done and now you've ruined everything. So I'm the guy that's like, nah, bro, you gonna be 30 one day.
Yes.
And you gonna be 40 one day.
And 50 if you lucky.
And 60. So as you are a part of this younger generation and 19 and can probably look at the OGs like, y'all old. You gonna be old one day.
Everybody got a birthday.
If you're blessed,
yeah,
you will be.
and that's the narrative I'm pushing. Like, bro, I see you being 30 and getting your like, nah, bro, don't forget that. So as the drugs and the drinking and the violence is getting bigger and bigger, I gotta start telling these. I was like, bro, you gonna get older.
But everybody goes through it because I mean, when I was 19, I looked at it the same way. And then when I got to the age, I'm like, I'm happy. I'm happy I made it to this age. 'Cause a lot of my friends didn't. And if they did, they locked up or they fucked up. Like that.
And you think about your years, it's like so many things wouldn't have happened if you hadn't got to that age.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah, man. The 20s to some of it was a blur, but once I hit 30, it was like, bro, this is
I gotta
life
take it serious.
Oh yeah.
That's when you realize forever is a mighty long time.
Mighty long time, man. Straight up.
Now, Getaway is a tough tune. You say on that record you have to get away from the BS. I mean, after hearing you talk, I think I know what the BS is, but what is it? The industry, the streets?
I would say the initial thing was the politics at first, right? Because once that presidential shit happened, I was like, whoa. And I think at the time I was actually creating that record, and it was literally coming from all that, the politics, again, the negativity, the frustration. You got to tune that shit out and focus on your life because you got to take care of yourself. The government ain't really worried about you like that, my G. So you got to get out here and make sure and ensure your family good. Start really paying attention to what most people don't do, like your finances, stocks, and really start understanding what you invest in your money in. So your kids down the line can be taken care of. These are the things we got to start paying attention to and thinking about.
Absolutely. Well, the album is out right now. Make sure you go pick it up.
Hey.
Forever is an almighty long time. Did I say it right?
Yo,
no,
forever is a mighty long time. It's all good.
It's a mighty
You know
long
me,
time.
Catalactica and all these words that everybody forever is a mighty long time.
Oh shoot, these are you know what these were? These were the sales projections.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, these were the sales projections. But 21 Savage, you did pretty good too, Chris.
Don't talk about it.
Right?
Thank you.
Yeah,
Don't
you did.
mention none of that. Thank you.
He's like,
did good
shush,
too,
you
though.
don't
No,
wanna talk about
bruh.
it.
Nah.
You did good too.
Thank you. But we ain't gonna talk about it.
Well, it's Big K.R.I.T. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.